Hey everybody. So I actually made a video about this and didn't have my mic turned on. So now I get to go back and make it all over again. Woohoo. So I wanted to make a video about your Go Math pages today, students, from 759 to 762. And so it's just a review. It's kind of a review and a little bit moving forward with what we did yesterday. So I'm going to do a little bit of a review, but it's also going to go into what we're doing today. So let's review what halves, thirds, and fourths are. So halves are two equal pieces. So when I cut something in half, for those pieces to truly be called halves, they have to be equal. So as long as when you're cutting your shape, as long as the pieces are equal, that is a half. Now, how would I write 1/2 as a fraction? Well, remember your denominator, your bottom number. Your denominator is how many equal pieces made your whole. I cut this arrow into two equal pieces, and they are equal. They are equal, which means I need to put 2 as my denominator. Now, today, you're going to be given shapes, and it's going to ask you to cut your shapes into 2 equal pieces, halves, 3 equal pieces, thirds, or 4 equal pieces, fourths. So let's say that someone asked me, how much of this, let's pretend this is an arrow shaped cake. How much of this cake are you going to get to eat, Mr. Andrews? I would say, well, I'm sharing it with another student, so I'm only going to get to eat this piece. And I could color in the other piece, but I'll choose this one. So if someone were to say, how much of the cake will you get to eat? I'll get to eat 1/2. Okay. So with this square, I could cut this many different ways. I could do it vertically. I could do it horizontally, or I could do it diagonally if I can move it like that. Or you could go the other way like that. Either way, both pieces are equal. So both pieces would be a half, and two halves come together to make that whole pan of brownies or that whole cake. Okay, cutting a circle, you can do it diagonally, horizontally, vertically, same thing. Thirds, remember, when you hear thirds, that lets me know that I need 3 equal pieces. I need to cut this into 3 equal pieces. So I'm going to do the best I can to make these pieces as equal as possible. There we go. And then I'm going to cut again. There. That's pretty close. So 3 equal pieces. That means I would be sharing this with 2 other people. So if someone were to say, Mr. Andrews, how much of this are you going to get to eat? Well, I'm only going to get to eat 1/3. So since this is cut into 3 equal pieces, my denominator is 3. And if it's talking about how many I get to eat, I'm only going to get to eat 1/3. So I'm going to shade what I get to eat in. I'm going to shade 1/3 in and write that as a fraction. Now, a little challenge here. If someone were to say, how much of this will you not get to eat? Well, how could I write what I won't get to eat as a fraction? If I get to eat 1/3 of this, how much do I not get to eat? How would I write that? Hmm. Well, I know that we're talking about thirds. How many thirds are not for me? They're for other kids. 2 of them. So that means that 2/3 of this cake is not for me. I won't get to eat it. So hopefully that makes sense. With this rectangle, you can cut it horizontally or you can cut it vertically. Just watch this though. I can't cut it diagonally. Whoa, what are you doing? Let's try that again. I can't cut it diagonally. What are you doing? Okay. I don't know what's going on. Let's steal one of these. Maybe that'll work. There we go. Yay! All right, so if I was cutting this in halves, I could do this, but if I need 3 equal pieces, there's no way I can really cut it to have 3 equal pieces. See? Yeah, there's 3 equal pieces, but I mean, there's 3 pieces, but none of them are equal. So that won't work. So you could do it horizontally, you could do it vertically. It's up to you. Just make sure that your pieces are equal as close as you can get it. I know it's hard to draw these perfectly. I'm not drawing them absolutely perfectly, but you can tell what I'm trying to do. Okay? Or you could do it vertically. Thirds on a circle is very tough. Just as long as your shape is something like this, that's about as close as you're going to get to showing thirds on a circle. It's very hard to draw. Now, fourths means that you need to cut into 4 equal pieces. 4 equal pieces. So with the circle, you can do it vertically, and then you can cut again horizontally, and then that will make your fourths. Same thing with the square. You can do it horizontally, and you can do it vertically, or you could do it diagonally, like that. Oh, this one's going to be difficult. What are you doing? I don't want you to do that. There we go. I'm sorry this is taking so long. Or you could do it like that. Okay. And I'm not going to cut this one. I feel like you're starting to get it now. So, one thing I do want to point out, though, is that 1/4 can be called something else. It can be called a quarter. Now, the reason why we call a fourth a quarter is because in money, how many quarters make a dollar? 4. And each quarter is the same. Each quarter in a dollar is worth 25 cents. 4 equal pieces. 4 equal pieces come together to make one whole dollar. So 1/4 in a shape is a quarter. So if you have 4 equal pieces that you've cut into your shape, you could also call each piece a quarter. You can call it a fourth or you can call it a quarter. All right, let's come down and look at this one on page 762. Most of 760 and 761, you're doing what I did up here. It's asking you to cut these shapes into halves, thirds, or fourths, and you're shading in a half, a third, or a fourth. And so just what I would do is I would go ahead and practice writing your fractions. If it asks you to cut something into a third, cut it into 3 equal pieces, shade in a third, and write 1/3 above your piece. All right. Let's look at this one though, because I feel like this one might be a little tricky. So this is on 762. It says 2 posters are the same size. A third of one poster is red, and a fourth of the other poster is blue. Is the red part or the blue part larger? Draw and write to explain. So since it says draw and write, I'm going to do both. Okay. 2 posters are the same size. So I have 2 posters that are the same. They're right here. A third of one poster is red. So when I hear a third of one poster, that lets me know that one of these posters is cut into 3 equal pieces, into thirds. Something like this. I don't want you to do that. It's being difficult. just want to move it. Okay, close enough, I suppose. All right, so that's cut into in the thirds, and it says 1/3 of of one poster is red. So I'm going to color in a third red. Sorry about all that. Just it's hard to do with a mouse. Touchscreen would be so much easier. So there's my third that's red, and it says a fourth of the other poster is blue. So that lets me know that I need 4 equal pieces. So about right there, about right there. Stop. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we needed 4 equal pieces for this one, and this one is blue. Okay, so the question's asking, is the red part or the blue part larger? Now, just by looking, I can tell which one's larger. So see if you can tell, write out why you think you know that, and click. So pause this when you do that, and then click play when you're ready for me to explain. Okay, so I can tell just by looking that the red third is larger. So I'm going to say the red third is larger than the blue third. And I know this because my red third is taking up more of this poster than this fourth is taking up of this poster. Do you see what I mean? The third is taking up more space because it's a bigger piece. The fourth isn't taking up as much as the other poster. So I can see that the third is taking up more space inside the poster, inside one poster, than the blue fourth is taking up in the other poster. This lets me know that a third is bigger than a fourth. So an explanation like that would make a lot of sense to me. And you're proving from what you drew and from what you saw how you know which one's larger. So if there's any questions at all about this, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to make a video for you. It's no trouble at all. That's what I'm here for. So, but I think with the fractions, with what we've done so far, I believe you guys will be just fine with this. But if there's any questions, just let me know and I'll try to help as soon as I can.